This tutorial video will help you make a drawing sheet for the train wheel. Once again, we want to make sure we choose the RH drawing sheet template. And when filling out the forms, make sure we use caps. And as usual, to get us started, we go to Base. We select the file that we want to bring in. The train wheel is the file. Open. And on this one, we're going to have to probably rotate it to get the best front view. That is not the front, even though it was created as the front in our original sketch. We want to remember we did a revolve, so we created this profile, then revolved it. That's why this is the front view. So I'm going to rotate once. Now I do want to go to isometric just to make sure I have the front where I'm showing the post and the recess here. I do not want to get the back because there are no features there. So we want to make sure we're here. And then I'm going to bring this down. That will be the front. And we're going to go up. And then we're going to go over to the isometric view. And then I'm going to come down to the side view. Now, the side view and the top view are about the same. So we're probably going to get rid of this side view eventually, but before we do that, we're probably going to replace that with a section view. We're going to replace either the top or the side with a section view. We'll have to figure that out when we get there. Right click, OK. Here I see hidden lines. I do not see any here. I see them here. And from the front, there's nothing hidden underneath or behind it. So that's why we don't see any hidden lines here. Now, we also don't see any lines marking fillets or any of that either, which is okay for our purposes right now, because when we take our section view, that's where we will highlight the fillets and make sure we dimension those. So our primary objective here is to dimension, of course, the diameter, but also everything we can about the post, and then everything we can about the windows and the axle hole. So a lot of dimensions are going to go here. Then we will make some dimensions up here for distances, and then we will create our section view to finish it out. So let's switch to Annotate and Dimension. First dimension, overall diameter. That's always an easy one. Then we will also do the diameter of. Now, doing the window is going to be a little bit tricky, but we definitely want to make sure we hit the different arcs. You have to zoom in. You do not want to get a green dot, so you got to zoom in and get in between the green dots. There we go. It would be nice if we can get a total distance. I don't know if it's going to let us do this. Let's see if we can get an angle measure between these two. Yep, that's what we want. And we would like to also get it between the windows. So let me move this. I hit escape. I'm going to grab the number and see if it'll let me move it. Let's grab it by the elbow. And then slide the number over. Now we've got a little bit of clearance here so that I can dimension between these windows. Make sure you don't grab the green dot. And so that indicates that the window is a 30-degree width, and then the distance between them is a 30-degree width. And you don't have to label all of them. just this pair between the windows and the window itself. And we've already given the dimensions of the arcs that create the windows, so we really don't need any more information for those. The next thing will be to dimension the linkage post. So we're going to dimension the base here of the post, then the post itself, try not to get the green dot, and then the hole. Now, because I used a hole to create this as opposed to an extrusion, I need to switch to hole and thread. And now when I click here, it should give me, yes, it should give me the hole information. Because if I just did a regular dimension, it'll give me a diameter of 0.06. It will not give me a depth. But because I use the hole feature, I should use the hole note and give me a depth of 0.25. That's a lot of information there. Now, this has nothing to do with the wheel construction. This only, all of these dimensions that I've put on here, they are only indicating the features that we've added, not the wheel construction itself. So a couple of things that we can put up here on the top view for the wheel construction are the total distances, the overall widths. That's a good one there. And then I'm just going to make them all referencing the back. And that's really all I can do there. So the last bit is going to be a section view. So we're going to do a section view. We've done one of these before. First thing I want to do, hit escape. And I'm going to delete this view here. So I'm going to just click on the red dotted box, make sure it's highlighted with a dotted box, and then I'm going to click delete or press the delete key. I'm also going to slide this up just a little bit so that we have some room, because I know what's going to happen. They're going to have a label underneath, and it's going to get cluttered with the title block down here. So I'm just sliding this up a little bit to avoid clutter. Now, go back to Place View and go to Section. The section is going to create a cross section. It's going to cut it in half. Now, I'm just hovering right now. I hover over the center so that I get a little dotted line, because that will help me line up everything in the center, and that's what I want. So just outside of the part, making sure you're lined up with the center, click once. Then come all the way down, make sure you're lined up to the center, click again. And then right click, continue. And then I'm sliding this over a little bit, and I'm going to place it somewhere over here. Now, because it's a section view and not a right side view, it doesn't have to necessarily go underneath the isometric view. And that's what I want to see, because now I can get inside and dimension these fillets that I could not do. I don't even see them on this view. And on this view, they're hidden, and you cannot dimension hidden lines. But with a section view, I can dimension all of the fillets. So we're going to go to Annotate, Dimension, and then I'm going to click, not on the green dots, try and stay away from the green dots. I'm going to get this. And I double clicked on the number so that I can type in capital TYP period. And what that is going to tell anyone reading this, that all of the curves inside are 0.06. If you recall, it's 0.0625. So maybe what we need to do also, double click on the number again, is change the precision and tolerance. Right now it's set to have 2 decimal places. That's why it's rounded to 0.06. I'm going to change that to 4 decimal places. Try it again. Change the primary unit to 4, not the tolerance. Leave the tolerance at 2. There, that's what we want to see. So the radius is 0.0625 typically, all of these. Now the external radius is not, so I need to dimension that separately. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to change my primary unit. This time I don't need 4, I only need 3. And that's all I'm going to put there. Because this is a uniform symmetrical part, if the 0.125 is the radius at the top, it's also the radius at the bottom, and that will be fairly obvious. That's it. Those are all the features that you need to make sure you dimension. I'm going to slide this over just a little bit. Slide this up just a little bit. The last thing, we need to make sure we shade the top view. I mean the isometric view. So right click on the red dotted box, edit view, and click the shade button. And that's the drawing sheet for the wheel. So make sure we save. Train wheel drawing sheet, sure. But then we also need, because we're uploading this to Canvas, we need to export PDF.